While Mayor Pete Buttigieg has seen a surge in battleground state polling, a recent poll reveals that his support from African Americans, who are a key voting bloc in the Democratic Party, is at 4%. That's actually up. And now a councilman from his own city, South Bend, Indiana, is endorsing former Vice President Joe Biden instead. Councilman Oliver Davis shared his reasoning with Politico. Quote, "When you're flying in the middle of the storm, you want to make sure you have steady, experienced leadership." And when asked if Mayor Buttigieg could win the general election given his lack of support from communities of color, Davis replied, "I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it." Oliver Davis, the South Bend councilman, joins me now. He recently ran in South Bend's Democratic primary to succeed Mayor Buttigieg, who is not seeking another term. Oliver, thank you for joining us. Tell me why. I mean, I totally get why you might like Joe Biden more than Pete Buttigieg, but Oliver Davis's endorsement is a very big deal because you are a city councilman in South Bend, Indiana. Tell me why it's important for you to have done that.
It's important for me to have done that, and thank you for allowing me to be here with you. It's important for me to have done that because of the fact that we need to tell the story. We need to tell the story of what's behind many of the challenges that we have with the Douglas Plan and other issues like that, and how I believe Vice President Biden would be the one to help lead us. Like I said, we're in the storm, and we have to have steady leadership at this present time. I appreciate Mayor Pete, but we have to continue to move forward.
Is there something about Mayor Pete that you specifically don't like, or you just happen to like Joe Biden better?
This is not a personal issue at all. I have worked with Mayor Pete. We have helped build up the South Bend downtown. We have helped build up the parks. We have worked together on many issues. And that's why it was so shocking to me that here we've been working together. I know a lot of people say, well, y'all been adversaries. I've been doing my role as a legislator in terms of the oversight. So that's just the regular nature of the executive branch and the legislative branch. But the key thing here is how in the world can we promote a Douglas plan without that having already started in the city of South Bend.
Right, so the Douglas Plan is, of course, what Mayor Pete Buttigieg is putting forward as a plan to economically lift up African Americans. What are you not, you don't have an issue with the plan. You actually think it's a good idea. You're just saying Mayor Pete hasn't done that at all.
Well, a couple of things with that. This is Thanksgiving time, and I'm the only son in my family. I have sisters. And tomorrow at Thanksgiving, if I were to go to the women of my family, my sisters and the other women, and say, I have a women's plan for the Davis family that is based on grandma, and this women's plan is going to be how you all run, and I have sat down with all of my advisors since I have a doctorate, master's, and all this education from all these different universities. This is the women's plan, and I'm going to call it the Rosa Davis plan based on grandma. My sisters will look at me like I'm crazy. And would I get Thanksgiving dinner? I don't think so. I'd be lucky to get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if I came with that. Is he the one to talk about that? And that's where you see people in South Carolina and others have said, let's look at your record. Are you the one to bring us this? Even though I would be my sister's brother, the fact is I'm going to bring up a plan for the women of the family, and I'm only going to consult. I haven't consulted with them. We've worked together, and this plan should have been started in South Bend. It should have been started throughout Indiana before you launch it to the whole national scene. And that's the concern. We've worked together more than what people have said on, like I said, many things for 8 years. And in your book that you talked about back in 2011, when you talk about how to speak to money, you talk about you have to understand that language, and you need to do it now. And how can you understand the language when you haven't necessarily been representing the people that you need to do it?
Oliver, it's a good way to shut me up, quoting from my own book. You win for that. You've come to my place for Thanksgiving. You are definitely getting more than a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Oliver Davis is a city councilman in South Bend, Indiana. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate that.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
And to you, sir. And to your sisters, please give the man proper food. Oliver Davis. I want to bring in Rashad Robinson, who serves as the president of Color of Change, an organization dedicated to